Moving on to Trump and his phone call, not really the perfect phone call from the Ukraine days.
Yeah, this is a story that's been in the news lately. This Trump phone call looking for votes in Georgia. It's like, come on, man, just give me 11,000, just 11,000 more, man. That's all I want. But the interesting thing about Trump, I mean, he's frightening in like what he pretends and the kind of politics that he represents and that could take hold. But he's also just like fucking dumb. And he's like on this phone call and just insistent that the votes are there, that we won Georgia by hundreds of thousands of votes. I saw it on, I've been watching Newsmax, okay? Like I know what's going on here. Like
I know the things.
Yeah,
he's
like this feedback loop you've got now between conspiratorial, like right-wing nutjob media like Newsmax, and then people like Trump. And like I think you could have also put Sarah Palin in that category. But
absolutely, yes.
Where the dumb conspiratorial news media feeds into these dumb politicians, and then the dumb politicians feed into like an even more conspiratorial.
It's phenomenon. Yeah, as far as anything we could use to analyze how Trump thinks, I would go back to actually his religious teaching, and he and his family were followers of Norman Vincent Peale, who's known for the philosophy of the power of positive thinking. It's in the same vein as like The Secret. For all you youngins out there, it was a big deal 10 plus years ago. It was part of Oprah's book club. The Secret is basically the notion that you imagine what you want and put it out into the universe and wish for it and everything, and then it comes true, and that's the secret. As far as the votes are concerned, I believe that's a sincerely held belief of his. I don't think he's necessarily lying to those guys he's on the phone with. And I think beyond the facts being distorted in his mind, I think there's maybe a sort of tautological logic going on where he's like, well, I believe it because it's true, because I believe it, because it's true, because I believe it, because, you know what I mean?
At the end of the day, he can always try to redeem himself by running again in 2024. And I guess a lot of people speculate that a lot of what he's doing now is just to set himself up for that. Unless he just like locks himself in the White House bathroom and just like actually refuses to leave when it's Biden's turn to come in. But I think this like $2,000 check gambit is arguably like the opening act of his reelection campaign. I think the Republican establishment is getting tired of him. And I think that's what you see with this leaked phone call. Because I think they're sending a message. It's like, you are doing stuff and you are saying stuff that like could land you like in prison. We don't want you to go to prison. And it's, you know, a president's not going to go to prison in the United States because that's just a Rubicon that's not going to be crossed. That's something that happens in other countries that are less like stable and that aren't the world hegemon like the United States. Like Trump can do anything he wants, and he's not going to like go to prison unless it's just like a last resort, unless that's the only way to take care of him. But I do think this is like a shot across the bow from the Republicans. Like they're getting tired of him, and they're tired of their party being the party of Trump. And they have learned to exploit Trumpism in Trump's politics, and they're going to continue to do that. But they're tired of just like Trump embarrassing them and embarrassing himself all the time. And that's why they leaked this phone call. And I think that sends the message that, okay, you're losing support within the party, dude. And if you keep up this bullshit, like we're going to leak more phone calls and you're running out of friends. It's like time to cut your losses.
I'm inclined to agree. It's just that part of what contributed to Trump's success was convincing the donor class. He got the base early on, the Republican voting base proper. And what really cemented him as becoming the party of Trump was when the big donors went his way.